guys, welcome back to my channel, and I just have another little story to tell you about living with an alcoholic. You know, sometimes whenever you're married to an alcoholic, the innocent party is the one that gets blamed for all the bad things that the alcoholic does. I mean, you know, we're innocent, but yet we have to take the blame sometimes. But when we lived in Covington, you know, I told you we lived on this road called Slimmer Road, and it's named after the original owners of the property that lived there. It was Mr. Slimmer. But on down at the end of Slimmer Road, it came into a fork to another road called Hellenberg Road, and then you take a left and go back there. And there were some big estates back there. I mean, beautiful houses and, you know, big lots, probably 3 acre lots. Well, when they had built these apartments next door to us, we met this family. They were living in their apartment temporarily while they built a house on Hellenberg Road. And their names were Don and Cheryl Burke. And Cheryl was not working. She was actually subcontracting the house. You know, she was in charge of getting all the contractors for, you know, the foundation and the framework and everything. So she was always just stressed out. And Don worked for Delta Airlines. He was a ticket agent. And I'm sure he made good money, you know, but when they moved from Metairie to Covington, then they, you know, he had to cross that, the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway every day to get back and forth to work. So, you know, they were spending money as fast as he could make it. And they had to have all the latest gadgets. And this was back in the 80s. And we're not talking about computers or cell phones or anything like that. But they got a trash compactor. And then they went and bought the microwave. And the microwaves back then, y'all, were humongous. I mean, they had like a burner in the top of them where you could, you know, brown everything, and they were just humongous. So, I mean, as soon as the store would get something new in, they would run and buy it. They just had to have all the brand new gadgets. You know, the new stereos and Sony this and Sony that and the big old televisions and then they went and bought this big old satellite dish. I mean, this thing was a monstrous thing stuck out in their yard. You know, I wouldn't have had such an ugly thing in my yard, even if I could have afforded it. But one day, John and Don went to an LSU football game. And when they came home, they were both plastered. So John, you know, he made it down to Hellenberg Road and dropped Don off. I mean, before John even got home, Cheryl was calling me and just chewing me out now for my husband getting her husband drunk. I mean, it's not my fault. She shouldn't have let Don go off with an old drunk. You know, it was her fault for letting her husband go off with John. They knew he was a drunk. So then they were going to go on vacation. And back where they lived, it was, and now where we lived, we did have garbage pickup. I think it came once a week. But they were way back in the unincorporated part of Covington. So they had no garbage service. They had to literally take their garbage to a dump, a legal dump, you know. And I'm not sure if you had to pay to dump it or not. Probably did. So they were rushing around trying to get away to go on vacation. So they had left a lot of their garbage at the house, at their home. You know, like, I guess out underneath the patio there in front of the house. So they, Cheryl wanted me to ask John if he would take their garbage to the dump. So I said, sure, you know, no problem. Okay, so a couple of weeks go by and they come home from their vacation. And oh, here she goes, calling me up and chewing me out again. The police had come to their house because they found their garbage dumped on the side of the road and it had their mail in it. Oh, John had gone and just taken their garbage and threw it out on the side of the road. So don't ever trust a drunk with your husband or with your garbage. So I hope y'all like my little funny stories about living with an alcoholic. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up and just keep on coming back. Bye, guys.